So, since I'm a young leader, I am 28 years old this year by Korean age, and then by international age, I am 27. So, and I started Atomy when I was 23 and 24. So I just share in Korean age, okay? So, since people can get confused, yeah, I started Atomy when I was 24. So people ask me, why do you choose Atomy? Why are you doing Atomy? And people expect really smart things expect to hear smart things from me, such as like, being smart. You went into 공정위, a website like fair trade organization website from Korea, and must have analyzed some things. But today I'm not gonna talk about difficult things. Also, don't be disappointed, okay? I'm not going to talk about the marketing plan or the company analysis of why you should choose this tool called Atomy to become successful. Probably wonderful speakers must have shared about this kind of things already with you. And I'll be sharing this, and we'll also be sharing in this program, probably in the future, about this difficult agendas. So today I'm going to talk about value. The Atomy value that have changed my thoughts, the way I perceive the world, the priorities that I used to have, and how Atomy values have changed my life completely. So I'm just basically going to talk about these things. So in one word, I'm just going to share about like my story in Atomy. I hope you don't get too disappointed by it. So will that be okay with everybody? Like to hear my story? Are you interested to hear my story out? Yes? Okay, thank you for the reaction. Okay, and then first, by starting point, I want to talk about money first. And then when I say this, people are like, whoa, you said you're going to talk about value, and then you go over to money. So what are you getting at? So okay, why am I going to start off by talking about money first is because without money, my story cannot even begin. I think many people also agree to this at some point. How can money and income, how should we make money in our lives? Let's start off like this, okay? How can we make income for ourselves, not just to survive day to day, but to have sufficient income? Does anybody know? Like, okay, how can we make money so we can not survive but have enough for our lives? Can anybody say? Or have any idea? I think this is so easy question. Why everybody like, oh, let me think about it. Okay, guys, just think it the other way around. Probably you might be a full-time Atomy now, or you might be doing Atomy as a part-time job, or had other jobs before Atomy, right? So did that job, that income was sufficient for you? If you were working for a company or working for, you're a government servant, was it okay for you? You're a teacher maybe. Was it okay enough that you don't worry about your future? You don't have to like count money, oh, plus minus, I'm a minus this month. Probably the answer will be no, right? The answer will be no. So this is why I want to start off by talking about money, okay? Because I realized as time passed that we need to have this in our lives. And in order to have this money, we have to do our own business. Many young people dream of going into Samsung or LG or Kia, CJ. These are the big corporates in Korea. And where will we be exactly left after 10 years of serving in these corporates? Probably we will be earning around 6 million won to 7-8 million won, which is around $6,000 to $7,000 USD a month, and working from 9 to 6. This is the reality of our lives. And we just continuing every day, worrying when we'll be laid off. This is just not my story, but everybody else's story. Youngsters will agree to this definitely. And not only young people, older people will also agree. One of my super elite friends who is an international lawyer just got laid off last year around July. And then she's failing to get a job for herself. And it's been around 7 months already. It's not because she is lacking in some ability, but it is because of the world, how the world is changing. So this is why I decided I need to get a job for myself. But I don't want to be like anybody else. Have you been to Korea? Have anybody been to Korea? Raise your hand if you've been to Korea. Chloe's raising her hand, but like you're living in Korea, so that doesn't count. Okay, Lisa also raised her hand, but she's living in Korea, so that doesn't count. Oh, I see Nikki. Nikki have been to Korea. Wow. Very nice, Nikki. So where have you been in Korea? Have you been to Seoul? Maybe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you've been to
Indiana.
Seoul. Very nice. Then have you been to like, Dongdaemun?
Come again? Sorry.
You've been to Dongdaemun, the market area? Jongno, Dongdaemun, this area? Very famous for the food and also some shopping, right? Many people come to Dongdaemun for shopping. So maybe you've been here or may not have been there. I'm not sure, but many tourists come to Dongdaemun area. And then why I bring it up is because when I was in high school and I go shopping, I always see these people, these aunties selling clothes, selling food. And then later part when I was in uni days, it shocked me. Because if you've been to Korea and you see these ladies, the aunties wearing baggy clothes, like, I mean, very rundown t-shirts and, you know, trousers and serving food and cooking in the kitchen. Do you know that they are Royal Leaders Club income earners and Leaders Club income earners? Like, you're like, damn, really? You look at these Samsung people, they're wearing some fancy clothes, like suits and ties and suitcases, looking so smart. And they're earning $5,000, $6,000 a month. But this like aunties in Dongdaemun is earning how much? 10,000, 20,000, sometimes more than that every month. So this shocked me in university days. I'm like, what? I ignore them so much. I thought, oh, look at them. I don't want to live a life like them. But then thinking the other way around, I decided if I really want to get rich, if I really want to make enough income for myself, I shouldn't be following after Samsung and other people and begging me to hire them, begging them to hire me, but I should be like Jongno aunties. This is a very pretty lady, right? She's my sister. She is very beautiful, isn't she? Nodding, nodding. Wow, she is a beautiful lady and she is my sister. She's already taken. Sorry, guys, for some bachelors here. Okay, she's already taken. And she is a super elite. She went to Songyungan University, which is one of the top universities in Korea. And now she's working in CJ. For those who do not know CJ, you know spam, right? Spam is famous trash food coming from Korea. It's one of the instant food famous from Korea, and also like hetban is like the instant rice. Any kind of instant Korean food that you will be taking from your Korean market in Philippines, Australia, or wherever it is, probably 60-70% it is all coming from CJ. CJ is majority in that. So why I bring up my sister's story is because my sister had been super elite for all her life. She was the smart one in the family, and then she was the beautiful one in the family as well. And then she studied so hard for more than 15 years, ever since her middle school days. And she went into this big corporate court, CJ. It took her 100 tries to go in there. Like, I mean it, literally 100 times. She went into 100 different interviews until she got into CJ. So this is why back in the days when I was around 23, 24, when I was about to graduate university and go and get a job for myself, my sister honestly told me, SOOMIN, think wisely. I had to prepare so much throughout my whole life. Go into CJ. Everybody thinks, wow, you got an awesome job. But I'm working from 9 to not 6, but she's working from 9 to 9, sometimes in the weekend, and she's not even getting paid for it. And then she said, how much do I earn? I'm earning $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Does she think it's worth it? Not really. But then why is she continuing her job? It's because She has no other choice. She has to pay back her debt to buy the house, right? So another story. This is my brother. Handsome. He looks a bit like a bandit, I know, with his beard. He is not the typical Korean type. He is more of like the Arabian type. He likes to travel a lot as well. And my brother wasn't also so different. My brother is the genius, more genius than my sister. He was ranking number 2 in the whole of Korea for mathematics competition when he was in high school. So we all thought, this is a very particular brain coming from the family. And then he wanted to be a mathematics professor in the future because of that. But obviously, our family couldn't afford him to support his studies. So he's just going to get himself a job in Samsung. He went into Korea University and graduated top of the class with the top grades. Was a scholarship student throughout his 4 years in universities and went into Samsung, but even going into Samsung took him 1 year because he went to another company and had to move over to go into his dream job, which was Samsung. And everybody knows, like, Samsung and semiconductor is the top of the world, right? So probably they're getting good salary, which is true. And his major is also semiconductor. So yeah, he got a good job, but he always complains about it because now he's receiving around $6,000 to $7,000 a month. Some people will say that's really decent, isn't it? But he will say compared to the work that he has to do, it is not so decent. And even with this income, he always say, SOOMIN, I'm not sure whether I can buy a house for myself and I can get married very recently because he has to have so much money to get married, but he cannot buy a house even with this income every month. He needs to work 15 years in a row without spending any money in order to buy a house in Seoul, even a small one. So now he is thinking what to do. And this is why my sister and my brother have big dreams for them. But after going into these companies, they are thinking otherwise. In 2 years, they are thinking other things. You will probably know what it is already. Yes, it's the money. They both want to quit their jobs because what they're earning in their jobs is not guaranteeing them any time. So that's why the moral of the story is I learned in my uni days, looking at my sister and my brother, I don't want to get hired. I don't want to go through 100 interviews asking people to hire me because I'm talented. Even though I'm not talented, I need to trick everybody to believe I'm talented, right? And then I got a job for myself and I need to harass myself like my brother. He is going overnight and working 24 hours every 3 days. Like every once in 3 days, you need to go for a shift. I don't want to do that for the money. So I learned if I want to do what I want to do and live out my dream and live my talent to the fullest, and if I want to do all this and not just live a life, but live a good life, live a dream life, we all need to secure the income and the time together. The time, which is very important. So this is why I decided to do Atomy. I decided to be like Jongro aunties. So this is me. Well, I'm not really the youngest, and I seem like I didn't really get the good genes like my sister and my brother. My mom was always worried about me being very honest with you. I am not the smart one. I am not the talented one in the family. So my mom always worried, what will SOOMIN do when she grew up? I don't worry about the oldest daughter. I don't worry about my oldest son, but I always worry about my youngest daughter. This is what my mother, Star Master Child, will always say. But now she is thinking otherwise. She is always so proud of me, and she don't worry about me anymore because I'm doing this Atomy business. Okay. So after listening to my sister and my brother, I decided I didn't want to get through this 100 interviews to work from 9 to 6 and get $3,000. And I started off this business by myself. Then where and what to start, right? So I actually, before meeting Atomy, I was thinking just to do another type of business, but something online because everything nowadays is working online. So I was thinking, what should I do? I was pondering, And then I was thinking, whatever tool it is, I must think quite simple. Because if I start thinking about it, there are too many options for me. So I thought basics of any business, especially if I'm going to be in distribution business, handling some products, it is going to be the same anyhow. So I decided to just check some simple options. Okay, the need, whether it's cost effective, is it the one and only product, and is it expandable? Why I came to decide on these 4 options is very simple. Because I thought if people need it, they will buy it. So the question is it daily necessity product that everybody will continue to buy? Or will it be like a product that they need to buy one time and finish with it? If it is something they buy only one time, I need to choose my item really carefully. And there will be a lot of competitors because one and only items that people buy and don't buy so easily, like cell phones or refrigerators, I cannot deal with this kind of technology, smart companies, right? So I decided rather be more common and more consumed products, daily necessity products, like your toothbrush. Have you brushed your teeth today? Oh, I see nobody like saying yes. I'm like shocked. You didn't brush your teeth today? Oh my gosh. I believe you all have. And if you have bought your toothbrush this month, will you not buy another one next month because you already have one? Or will you be buying another one for next month? Probably you will buy another one because this is the kind of product that wears off and you need to buy again. Toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, body wash. This is the kind of things that we need to buy every month, right? And then the second one was whether it's cost effective. If the quality and the price compared to the quality, if the price is low, people will buy. This is when suddenly like Samsung go crazy and give 30% discount on their Samsung phones, people will just buy, even though they don't urgently need it because, wow, cheaper than the value, then they will buy. Or the other way works as well. If even if the quality isn't too much guaranteed, it's not like the best quality in the market. If the price is incompatible, people will buy. You look at Atomy toothbrush and you look at any other Korean toothbrushes, they're like incompatible price. Nothing is cheaper than Atomy. So people use it and surprised that the quality is good as well, right? And then the third one is the one and only. The one and only. Why is this important? Is because if you look at some of Atomic products, because Atomy is getting so famous from China, they are copycats. They copy our toothbrush and selling our toothbrush on Alibaba. And they are copying some of our skincare products and selling on Alibaba. And then why this thing is not working in China is because maybe toothbrush, yeah, you can copy and use. Some people will not even feel the difference if you're not so sensitive. But the skincare, people figure out it's different already when they're using it. And the Hemohim is the one and only product in Atomy, right? Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute, they made the contract solely with Atomy, right? Hemohim can only be sold in Atomy. And not only that, our skincare product is also, its technology with Carry is solely with Atomy. So this is why our products are sold the one and only products. And this one actually convinced me a lot in choosing Atomy. And another part that was critical for me, I had an opportunity to fly to Malaysia and share our Atomy products. I was there as a translator for my mother. And then I was surprised to find that my mother, who is just an old Korean lady, just a grandma, has downlines in Malaysia and people going crazy in Malaysia about Atomy skincare products. They love it so much. My mom convinced me to go as a translator, and she said to me, "SOOMIN, if you go translate for me, you will get to enjoy Kota Kinabalu's beautiful ocean, the sunset, the sunrise, the wonderful view. Yeah, have a wonderful holiday there. You just have to help me out a couple of hours a day." So I said, "Okay, I'd love to go." And then I thought I would only need to help a little bit, but figures out that the Malaysian ladies were so crazy about Atomy product. They would come into the center from 7 a.m. in the morning until 2 a.m. at nighttime that I cannot even go outside the center for 7 days. And I didn't even get to see the sunrise or the sunset or even a glimpse of the ocean of the Kota Kinabalu's beautiful beaches and had to just come back to Korea. I was really upset at the time. But this was also a great opportunity for me to see that the business was expendable. It was really going over this word expendable was like eye-opening for me. Wow, this is amazing. Even though you cannot speak a word in English, you have global consumers. Hi, this is my mother. Very beautiful lady, isn't she? Maybe some of you have seen her before. And she is my mother. She is a Star Master in Atomy, and she is 64 years old this year. She don't look 64, does she? She is looking very young and beautiful, big thanks to Atomy Skincare. So everybody, please use our Atomy Skincare. Okay, she is a Royal Leaders Club member and earning 20,000 USD plus minus, earning around 200,000 USD a year. So this is her income. Yay! If you have a mother like this, would you be the good daughter? Like the good daughter? Wow, your mother is earning 20,000 USD. Then what would you do? You'd be like, oh, yes, mommy, I will do whatever you want. Okay, I can be your personal PA after I graduate university. Would you say that? I see some of you, Joyce, nodding. Yeah, you are the smart one. But I told you, right? I'm not the smart one in the family. I'm the dumb one in the family. And also very much known for my stubbornness. I'm a really stubborn person. I never do or say things I do not believe in. So this is why I am a super bad bitch ass. Because, do you know this product? Everybody tried this product before? This is Atomy toothbrush, right? This one is $991, which is $1. $1. Like, I mean it, it's $1. I didn't use even this toothbrush for how many years? 5 years and a half. 5 years and a half. I didn't use Atomy toothbrush. I didn't use Atomy toothpaste. I didn't use Atomy shampoo. I didn't use Atomy Fame. I didn't use Atomy anything. Even my mother, back in the days when I was in high school, she would buy Hemohem. Since I'm preparing myself for college and studying really hard, she would buy Hemohem because Hemohem is really good for students, you guys know, for your brain, memory. She would buy me. And then she would put the Hemoim in my locker in my school, in my library school. And then I would look at it and I'll just throw it away. And or I will just like give it to my friends and I will never take it. Yeah. Sorry, I am the bad daughter. And then you'll be looking at me like, but how come now you're sitting here and sharing about Atomy and you're a Charnos master? So what happened to your stubborn brain of yours, right? So I'll be sharing this to you, but no screenshots, okay? Very sensitive picture for me. Oh, I always hated when I got to share this picture. Oh my gosh, this is me. Oh my gosh, this is me also. Okay, that was really fast. I hope it went really fast. Okay, you just saw my past picture. Now you see me. Okay, how do I look? Very nice? Do I look okay? Okay, now you see my face and you can see it like very glowing and bright and looking quite okay. But you can still see a lot of the acne scars on my face because from back in the days when I was 17 years old until when I was 25, 26-ish, I still had a lot of breakout. Wow, it was like countless years of me fighting acne. But one fine day, after I wasn't using Atomy any product for 5 years and a half, my mother cried. She was like crying. And then I asked her, Mommy, why are you crying? And then she's like, I'm a star master and a leader's cup in Atomy, and then my daughter is not using any product. What will I say to my daughter? And she starts crying. I'm like, I was like sweating in the back. I felt so sorry for my mother at that point. I decided, okay, I hate this product from Atomy. It sounds so like a scam. I thought it's like a not even a legit company at the time. But I decided, okay, even though this product from Atomy make my skin worse, I will just try one time for my mother's sake. And then, what's the effect? Now you see. This one took only 6 months. From the picture you saw to where I am right now, it took 6 months. Obviously, I'm like, what is this? Girl, what is this? Obviously, I went just crazy about this product because if somebody can change from here to here, then you will go crazy, girls. Oh my God, I'm crying. Thinking back in the days, it still gave me tears. Okay, now you look at me. And then I would like to say the Korean famous proverb here. In Korean proverbs, we have this word. 10번 찍어 못 넘어가는 나무가 없다. If I quote from Benjamin Franklin's words, it would be, little strokes fell great oaks. This is what my mother did with me. She actually didn't strike 10 times. She actually struck countless times until the daughter, who had a very sensitive skin, would just try one time. Because if the daughter just tries one time, my mother knew Atomy products will do the work. And even when the daughter was showing the utmost disrespect to the mother for 5 years plus, she actually talked about Atomy to me every day. Every day. Like, I mean really every day. She would, even when I was in high school 3rd grade, Lisa will be surprised. Her name was Master Lisa. If you're high school 3rd grade as a Korean, every family member respect you because you have a big exam in front of you. But I would wake up in the morning not listening to mathematics teacher's lecture or anything. I will open my eyes because my mom would turn on CEO Park's video at 7 a.m. in the morning. And then when I come back from the library at 12 p.m. midnight and I try to get myself to sleep, I cannot go to sleep because my mother would turn CEO Park's video at 1 a.m. in the morning out loud, speaker, so that all the family members can listen. But all of this collected up and it really brought me down. And this is why from the moment my skin changed, I had the little knowledges about Atomy before. And from that, my mother kept on implementing on me for a long period of time, right? So I decided to do Atomy right away. And from that moment, I just went crazy. Okay, so the first thing in Atomy always is to be a product lover. If you are a product lover, then everything works. Okay, if you're crazy about Atomy products, then you can make the people around you crazy about Atomy products, and it just goes so smoothly. And because I became a product lover about Atomy, I couldn't stand still. So I am the queen of no plan and just do it. Just do it. So I bought the plane ticket to Malaysia right away. I don't know what was in my head. I just decided to do. I packed 3 luggage bags and off I was to Malaysia KL with one family line member, Kutjangwa, and my mother went for the first time to help me settle down for the first week, and then she came back to Korea after the first week. So you just saw the picture of me flying to Malaysia. And then recalling this time, I feel so stupid, ignorant, and again stupid because I didn't prepare anything. I didn't think deep about it. And some people tell me, SOOMIN, you should have, searched and did your research about it. Why you be so dumb about it? But I believe I became successful only because I was dumb and stupid, and I just did it without thinking. At the time, I didn't even know Malaysia was a Muslim country. I didn't know Malaysia had lots of races, like in the Indians, and they had Malays, and then they had Chinese. I didn't know anything. I thought, and I also didn't know they had their own language called Malayu. I only find out after I landed at the Kuala Lumpur airport. I start talking in English, and some people couldn't understand me and start talking Malayu. And I was thinking, huh? How come they don't understand me? I was so stupid to the moment that I thought that Malaysia is just an Asian country and every Asian country can speak English, like Philippines. I'm like, so stupid. But yeah. But if I have thought about it, and if I try to prepare my business in Malaysia, most likely I wouldn't have been able to come where I am here right now, because while preparing for it and studying about it and thinking about it, it would have made me scared to try to go for a challenge. So I think the big secret here in anatomy is, if you decided to do it because you love it so much and you're sure that other products can work, don't think otherwise. Don't listen to other people. You just have to do it. Just do it. This is the secret. And I must have been really so much crazy in anatomy vision. And I advise you to do the same. Just do atomy, focus on it when you're crazy. Because when you are really crazy, you have no fear. You don't care about the rejection. And this is a period of time, what I call the first beginning 3 to 6 months, or even till 1 year in atomy, where your basis of atomy business is formed. And this is the moment why the moment I decided to do atomy business, I packed the luggage bags. You can see the carrier bags here, right? 9 carrier bags you can actually see. 3 is mine. Actually, 6 is mine. Mommy actually came to Malaysia with me because I had too many products and I cannot bring them all by myself. She was the carrier for me. Okay, so when I began atomy, I was not even an agent. I was nobody. I decided to go sales master because I needed the products. And I just went sales master, 5 million PV, 2.5 million boom, 2.5 million boom. I just buy with my money. And then I brought all those products together with me in that 9 carrier bags. Because if I want to do a business in Malaysia, it's not Korea, right? I needed some products to promote. So I said, Mama, don't go. Just go for it. Just do it. Become sales master, and I was off to Malaysia. But obviously, I was very unprepared for what I was doing. So my partners are the ones who suffered the dearest. My partners especially had to go through like more challenges, difficulties, because I wasn't a really prepared leader. That's why my mother, Master shall always say, if you want to be successful, don't do it after your partner comes out. But you must be a leader first, and then just do things. And then when the partner comes out, you be ready for it. But I wasn't that type of person listening to the sponsor and trying to be ready. I just was not ready person. But Master shall always say, as well, you learn it along the way. So listen to your sponsor and continue challenging. I fought very frequently with my mother, which is my sponsor. And I fought a lot with my partners, especially the first year of doing it. I was desperate sometimes, devastated sometimes, and depressed even at some point. Felt like I was very incapable of becoming successful at one point of beginning out some business. And I felt like I'm failing in helping my partners to achieve success. And I felt useless. Especially the first 3 months in atomy business, I kept on talking to my mother. I would call her, and then I would talk to her. Because during that period of time, the first 3 months, because I didn't know anybody in Malaysia, but I just decided to go there. So I brought atomy flyers, and I would bring samples in my bag, like sunblock, BB cream, peeling gel. And then with atomy flyers, I would knock, go into shopping complexes. Do you know atomy? Go into skincare shops. Do you know atomy? I would go to people sitting in cafes, and then, I'm from Korea, and here is our new product. And then after doing that from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., I would call my mommy at 10 and cry, Mom, I want to give up. This is my routine. Because my 12 hours of work of trying to contact random people on the street was total failure. Failure, total failure for the first 3 months. Nobody registered, like only 4 people registered with me. And then nobody buying from me. Nobody interested in contacting me. So I felt like giving up. And my mother even said at one point, "SOOMIN, don't whine at me anymore. Just come home. Inherit my ID. You don't have to do anything. Just go back to uni and do your studies." But I signed myself out of the college already. And then I wanted to make a point to the people, to my friends, that this is going to work. So I didn't give up. And then many people don't believe it at the time, because my mother was a star master. But we were having financial difficulties, which is making everything worse. Because although my mother is a star master and Leaders Club at the time, my family was having financial difficulties because my father went through 3 times bankruptcy before. We had tremendous amount of debt to pay. And every month, the debt and the interest took up 10,000 USD. So you can imagine how big the debt was. So my mother couldn't support me anything, actually. And this is why I didn't even have enough money to pay the rent. This was my status at the time. Empty. Wallet empty. I didn't have the money to pay the rent, my house rent. So I had to live in the center. I couldn't afford to have a house and have a center at the same time. So I pondered about it, and I decided if I don't have a center, I cannot do Atomy business. So I opened up a center, and then I would wash in the center, and I would sleep in the center. We bought 1 sofa bed, so we would use it as a sofa in the afternoon, and when we were working at nighttime, and I close every door, I would open it up and use it as a sofa. And I would cook in the center also, eat in the center also. I would dress up in the center also. We had a very small portion of the center locked all the time. Now the secret is open. That is where I kept my clothes, my kitchen utensils. So that's the secret. And then we didn't have enough money, so we had to borrow cars all the time. We would try to walk most of the time, if possible. Cannot go Ubering all the time because we didn't have enough money. And when we were doing cold calls, since we were so desperate, we would walk for hours in the hot, damn sun. I think if I was a bit wiser, you can rest a bit in the shade, right? Rest a bit in the shade after a 1 hour walk and then continue. But Jung-ai and I were two ignorant people, just hardworking. We would go about 2-3 hours, even 4 hours non-stop a day. And then one fine day, we were going around SSG, is a part of Kuala Lumpur, and then it was really hot. That day was around 34 degrees Celsius, and we started doing cold contact, going around handing out the flyers at around 11 a.m. and it became around 2, so it's like hottest of the day. And then we felt like fainting, so we decided we really need to cool down. So we decided to go into McDonald's. So we found McDonald's, and then when we were cooling down at McDonald's, we couldn't stay long, right? Because if you don't buy anything and stay there, people will look at you. So we decided to go out after 5 minutes of cooling down. But people around me, because it was such a hot weather, they were having ice cream. And the ice cream at McDonald's was 300 ringgit. This one, I still remember. I really wanted that ice cream. So I discussed with Jung-hwa. Jung-hwa, I really want the ice cream. I'm so thirsty. I feel like fainting. But then Jung-hwa and I counted the coins that we had, and we didn't have enough money if we buy 2 to go back to the house. I'm in the center. So we bought 1, and we divided up 1 ice cream together. And then the results weren't coming out. We wanted to give up so much. And then Jung-hwa, who was together with me to do cold call, decided to go back to Korea after 6 months of trying. So, in this scenario, would you give up anatomy? Probably a lot of the people would have given up anatomy. And I told you how difficult situation I was, right? But I didn't. I decided to do it continuously. And I gritted my teeth and I just fought for it. I continued on for 6 months more. And why is that? Is because I believe Atomy's vision is there because you cannot make money in Atomy. Many MLM companies say, you are auto sales master in Atomy and earning only 5,000 ringgit. You're earning only 10,000 ringgit. You're only getting $2,000. While you introduce only 2 people in my company, you can get $2,000 right away. But I tell my downline also that can you introduce that 2-person, 4-person continuously? Your easy money that you're making over there is because these 2 people that you introduce are paying every month some money to that company. We call it many other names. We call it first purchase, or it could be a monthly fee, or it could be a maintenance fee, whatever name they put it. They are paying for your income. It's not just. So this is why these marketing plans never continue. But in Atomy, it's a vision not to make money. So this is why I was proudly saying to everybody, I make $70 a month. And I'm proud of it. Because in Atomy, the products are so good and good price. Once you become a consumer, they will not leave you. They'll become royal. You will become royal LeaderCom members, and they will be still staying with you. I'm a super Atomy product lover. I use around 150 products a day. How many products are you using a day? So even though it was difficult me back then, and I also thought about giving up sometimes, but the reason I couldn't make the call to give up was because I knew Atomy is different. Atomy's values are different. And I believe that money will follow when we just love and cherish the people underneath us, our members. This is a job that we can be proud of. And this is why Atomy is a business that we change other people's lives, and growing together, that's why it can be slow. It's not like the money game. Many of my partners have moved over to another money game, but I don't care because it's not a money game. It might be making money slow. But this is why Atomy do not collapse. Atomy do not disappear because this is the job that love people, cherishing the spirit, and this is what the motto means. And love takes time to mature. And the fruits of love are very abundant and endless. The fruits of love is not only for one person to enjoy, but it's for everybody. And this is why if I don't give up on Atomy, even though it do not make money fast, and this is why Atomy is really set apart from other network companies, the value, the philosophy, the structure, everything. And so, I want to show you one video before I, okay. I'm out and okay, you just saw a very simple video, and some of you might have noticed Chloe in the picture. That was when we were in KK. Okay, so you might have noticed in the beginning, the picture starting from when I was flying off to KL and KK for the first time. And from the moment I began in Atomy doing cold call, you saw also the picture of me painting my Atomy center by myself to cut the cost. And from the moment I went to KK to help my cross-line over, from the moment I did the first translation in Atomy Malaysia, to going crazy and deciding to do Atomy and bringing the carriers along. And you might have noticed as time passed, the people that I'm doing the demo was increasing. The meeting, the people gathering also increasing. All of this, man, when people look at it, think, wow, you worked so hard to achieve where you are now. But I told you I was having a very difficult time in the beginning, right? But all of this happened in only 6 months after Zhenghua left. So this is why I told you it is important to go crazy to reach. Do it when you are crazy and don't look back and just move forward. Keep on challenging yourself, just moving forward and just be doing it. And I did it when I was 24 and when I was 25. These 2 years, I was crazy. And then I focused for the first 3 months. And you know what happened? This is the power of the focus and the concentration. I'm a Christian. And I met Jesus when I was 20 years old in uni days. I met Jesus when I was in university. And then the first love was so strong on me. Like I would wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and I would meditate the Bible 2 hours every day. And then I would do that for almost 1 year. Every day at 8 a.m., I would go to my clubhouse and we would do morning prayer. Every day at 8 p.m., I would go to the river service at my university. And every 10 p.m., I have another prayer. I went to all of it. Can you guys imagine? Like, you only have Jesus in your life? Like, then what are you doing, right? Like that, but that was me back in university, first grade. And I did that for first year. And then, although I'm still a Christian, I can never wake up at 4 a.m. to meditate. Oh my gosh, Jesus, I'm so sorry. But this is what it is. In the Bible, it also says, do not forsake your first love. And I'm sorry, Jesus, I have already forsaken the first love. I know it, but it's very difficult for me to revive that first love in me. And this is what I tell you, the same thing. Your first love in Atomy, don't take it lightly. It will never come back to you again. And your first love, when you have it, this is a period of time when you set the foundation of your Atomy business. Let me share this. When I was doing cold contact, I was recruiting a Uber guy. I talked to him about Atomy toothpaste and toothbrush, and he joined Atomy as a member. And I continued talking to him, and I was also doing cold call, and I met an uncle from the market. And this uncle from the market was an Indian guy in his late 40s. He invited me to come to a pub at 10 p.m. I'm a lady, right? I have never been to a pub before he invited me over. I was very nervous because he's a guy. He's also in his late 40s, divorced, he said, living by himself. So I was a bit anxious, but I still went because I was very desperate to become successful. I went there and I decided to hand the flyers over to everybody in the pub in 10 minutes and be out of the pub so nobody can touch me. So that's what I did. And surprisingly, another uncle from the pool pub, there was a pool tournament during that night. I handed everybody the Atomy flyers. And one person from the pool pub looked at the flyer and thought, wow, so cheap, so good products. And he called me next day. And then he loved our Solparmeto so much. He was actually in his 70s. And the effect of the Solparmeto was so amazing. He decided to do Atomy business. And then he introduced me, one of his insurance colleagues. We drove 2 hours and a half down to a city called Ipoh. And then we met his colleague, which was so busy because he already knew we were down to introduce him some MLM. So he was like looking at this clock and said, oh, I only have 15 minutes. Please be fast. I need to get off. And after we ordered a cup of coffee, he drank it like this. And he said, okay, I will buy one para for you, but I'm busy. So I'm going off. Sorry. So I thought, oh yeah, I'm screwing up everything. Dang, I thought it was ruined. But then I just introduced him Atomy foam cleanser and he bought it and he was off already. I was really sad, but you know what happened? After 1 week, he called again. I used your foam cleanser. It's so good. It's none like I have ever tried. I want to do Atomy business. Can you come over again? I'll introduce a friend. So next week I went to Ipoh again, and this colleague introduced a neighborhood friend. And this guy go crazy about our evening care. And on the spot, he also came to Success Academy. He still paid for Success Academy without even knowing for what it was. And then he go crazy by listening to Idogu Imperial Master. I didn't say anything about Atomy, but Idogu Imperial Master set him off. And then he decided to do Atomy business. He introduced a friend he met at alumni. They don't even know each other that well. And then this friend that they met at alumni, I did a demonstration to them. I did a skincare demo, and this friend said, wow, Atomy sunblock is amazing. I want to do the business because the product is so good, because he played tennis and badminton. And then he decided to suddenly call me to his sister's neighbor's Christmas party. I mean, if you got introduced a colleague from an uncle that you know, and then he introduced a neighborhood friend, and the neighborhood friend introduced his alumni friend, and the alumni friend's sister's neighbor's Christmas party. You don't know anybody there. Will you go? And it was the Christmas day. Oh, and then I decided to go. I went there. I talked about Atomy for 3 hours. Nobody was listening, obviously, because I was also really bad at talking about Atomy at the time. But then I handed out some gift because it's Christmas. I handed over some of our Tyson toothbrush. And after 2 months, this sister's neighbor called me and said, hello, I heard you're the one dealing with this product called Atomy. My children love your toothpaste and toothbrush so much, they will not brush their teeth. It is not Atomy. So I need the product, so how can I buy one? So they become Atomy members, and after joining Atomy as a member, they find out about CEO Park and our philosophy, fell in love right away, decided to do Atomy business, and introduced a friend in Indonesia. Oh my gosh. So this is what happened, the flow of things. But when I talk like this, it looks so simple, right? In between the Uber, the uncle from the market, there's about 150 people that I registered from Code Contact. None of them exist now. From the uncle from the market to an uncle from the pool pub, another about 100. From the uncle from the pool pub to another colleague, another 50. From the colleague to the neighborhood friend, this is a bit short. From a friend met an alumni, this one also around 50. Two from alumni to a sister's neighbor to another 50. From this neighbor to a friend met in Indonesia, another 50. You see what you're getting at? And all of this happened in 6 months. This is why I talk about the focus and concentration. Focus, go crazy in Atomy for the first year. Don't tell me you have done for 1 year and nothing happened. Because if nothing happened, you didn't go crazy. That is for sure. Go crazy like SOOMIN. Go crazy like Lizao, Sharon Rose Master. Go crazy like Sharon Rose Master Jung Jang-hoon. He's also the crazy one that I benchmark from. Go crazy. Go anywhere. Don't be ashamed. We have this word in Korea. We have 들이대. In Korea, 들이대 is like you go anywhere, you don't feel ashamed. You're like having an iron mask in front of you. You don't care what other people think. This is called 들이대 University in Korea. So you need to graduate this university with 4A+ score. So whenever you meet anybody, you can talk about Atomy to anyone. And then if you do this for 1 year, this will happen to you. This is about Atomy. This is exactly what it is. So never be disappointed or discouraged by a rejection or denial, because that person is not just in the right timing, and that one is not the right one for you. I told you, I just summarized in 8 people my one lineage, but I lost hundreds of people, thousands of rejections until these right people came about. Never be disappointed that your list of the people, so-called your friend, your family, your colleague, don't listen to you. Because you look at my list. Is my family members or my friends in the list that made me successful? No. Don't be disappointed by your list, because your success do not lie in your list. Your success is not determined by that. Your success is determined from the list inside the list. Your partner's downline, your partner's list. So this is what global one server and unlimited level really means. This is the secret why everybody in Atomy can achieve success. Because we are not doing it with our talent. We are not doing it with the people that we know. We are just doing it with passion. That is what it is. In Atomy, if you just go crazy, you can reach. This is why Lee doctor always say, go to reach. So this is a picture of me going Indonesia, going crazy. I went there with some master chef for the first time to recruit. And then one important thing in Atomy, I told you I went sales master to go to Malaysia, right? And going into Indonesia, this guy here supposed to be a very successful person. My Malaysian leader said he is earning 20,000 USD a month from his business, he said. So I thought, I'm young and I'm not talented. I'm not a good talker. So if I just go, they will not listen to me. So I decided with my team to challenge. I went for a challenge with my team. I just became Diamond Master and my leaders became Sales Master for the sake of the title. We needed the title to convince them. So we went for a challenge. And in Atomy, sometimes we need to challenge when it seems reckless. And this is why this Indonesian member were impressed by our challenges and decided to do Atomy business as well. And even until then, my downline was not big. But because we went for crazy challenges, my Malaysian leaders also become more crazy in Atomy. And we started to having from 1 person to 5 people to 10 people. And then we started to do demos and crazy demos every year. We would display the products like this in the hotel. And you would call people in and do demos, do presentations. So many times a day. We would do demos 5 times a day. Endless demos. And not only would do it, but my downline duplicated. See, these are guys. Leslie and Simon is guys, but they will still do demos on the Muslim ladies. There is no excuses. At some point, you will not try to recommend the guys to touch the Muslim ladies. You would actually do it on the guys to guys. But then the ladies would say, I want to try. And ladies would just try. Even if it's a guy, they will not care because they want to try our Atomy products. So we would go from place to place and continue doing demos and start sending Atomy products to another product and start sending in big bulks. And then this is how our Indonesian downline came about, having more demos and another demos. And we invited them over to Korea, went to Colmar and attended Success Academy, wrote down some live scenarios, and then gave some speeches, so take some selfies and educated about lineage in the center, because the lineage problem was very severe at the time. And we had some sponsors sharing and educating together and bought countless demo bags to do the same in Indonesia. We bought around 40 different kind of demo bags to hand them off to the Indonesians. And that's why the Indonesian group came about, is the reason why thankfully I became a Sharon Rose Master at this time of 2019 May. And afterwards, I'm just having fun with my mother, traveling around and doing seminars wherever we go. We are also doing some, taking some videos with HQ and just shooting a video also for our team, having fun and family gatherings. It's just Atomy gatherings for us. You can also see my cute nephews taking Hemohim. They're Hemohim babies. They love Hemohim. We have to stop them from taking too much Hemohim because they love it so much. We are limiting them to taking 1 sachet a day, but they always want more. Okay, here's me giving seminar, translating for CEO Park, and this is what I'm doing right now. Compared to before, where I need to fly, like fly here, fly there, fly Australia, fly Singapore, fly Malaysia, fly Indonesia. So tiring, right? Now, I'm here in my house doing Zoom. This was Monday. We're doing Hello Global on Monday. And then we are doing China Zoom on Tuesday, which I love because I'm not the one talking. I'm just there clapping. And then here is another Zoom. I'm getting trained by the HQ for the Instagram And then on Thursdays, we do one-day seminars and do some follow-up on my downline. And this is it. And you look at me now, dressed all nicely and wearing pajamas on the bottom. Okay, so this is our online atomy business. And some leaders tell me, oh, SOOMIN, I'm different from you. I'm not like you. I'm not 20s. So it's more difficult for me to do it in that manner. But I mentioned to them the Pareto's principle, the rule of 20 to 80. Atomy tool do not require anything, right? This is why many people try to do atomy business. But why cannot everybody become Leaders Club and auto sales master? It's because they do not invest their time and passion. And what is passion? I call passion attitude. Some people ask me, SOOMIN, how can you keep up that passion in atomy? How can you continue being so passionate and not give up? And I tell them, I'm not passionate. I'm not a passionate person from the beginning. Do you know MBTI? I am the person who is always I. I meaning introvert. I'm not extrovert. If I meet people, I need a time for myself. I need to, be myself. I'm not the passionate person. I'm the person who loves being at home, meeting nobody, being myself. Passion, what I wrote down here in the PPT slide, is, the attitude. This is why in atomy, we always say attitude is everything. Do you think all the leaders that I just mentioned, and you saw on the PPT slide, the pictures just now, is all doing atomy business? No. Not everybody is doing atomy business now. And those leaders who is not ready in their attitude, they will not go into auto sales master, they will not go into Leaders Club, and they're not go into Royal Leaders Club member. Many leaders that you saw in the picture have quit. And what's the reason that they have quit atomy business? Is for very minor things. They're just not ready for it. All in atomy that you need is passion, and passion is the attitude. You need to adapt. What is a passion? What is the attitude? You need to adapt to things that you are not. And this is what atomy is so good at. So good is you don't have to be best at it. You just have to just do it. That's it. Let's say, for example, last year, one of my leaders said, SOOMIN, I'm too old for this. So I will just find my downline to do this Instagram, to do this kind of online thing and YouTube and all this. And then this is me. And then here is my partner, Mr. Leslie. And he said this to me last year. He just wants to find the downline to do it. But this year, he's trying to do YouTube. He's trying to do Instagram. And I take his attitude really high because he is the leader who is making the effort. Your downline is duplicating it. His downline is duplicating it, and his downline is also doing the same thing. I also started Instagram only last year, mid of last year. I'm not good at it. I'm not the best one in it. And I'm just doing it. And I'm doing Instagram only for atomy, actually. I'm not the online type of person also. I never did SNS before in my whole life. My friends hated me for it because I'm so unreachable all the time. But I'm doing it, and I'm doing very active SNS because of atomy. Make a lot of effort. That's it. You don't have to be the best in it, but if you're just doing it, your downline will duplicate you, and they will do it also. And somebody that will excel in it will come out in the end. So you can do it. I can do it. We can really do it together. Just continue doing until you can become successful in atomy, okay? So I might be not the smartest or the fastest leader to achieve success in atomy, or the youngest, or most creative, or most talented, or most recognized in atomy, being honest. There are better leaders than me. And definitely I can say I'm not the best one in being patient and excelling in the human networking business. But here, yet I am as a Child Nurse Master. And despite the fact that the COVID-19 didn't only do me good, And I'm in a way in a more comfortable, stable, and better situation than any other people around me is in this last year of 2020 and in 2021. So I want to tell you, do not give up. This is my life. I am having good afternoon teas in my house. This is right outside my house through the window. And I'm just doing some Zooms and doing some things through my laptop when I'm working, having BBQs in my house, having some fun, doing Zoom, talking to my friends and to my family members and to my partners. And this is my business now. So if you want to be like me and become like your leaders, never give up in Atomy. Don't go back to 7 to 5 p.m. work, 9 to 6 p.m. work that you are stuck in. But continue doing in Atomy. If you're doing it as a side hustle, continue working hard in Atomy and never give up, and do not give up. Do not regret later. Let me wrap up with a funny story. Do you know this movie? This is called Parasite. It's a famous Korean movie. It's in Korean called 기생충. Famous movie. And then remember my mother? My mother nowadays inviting a lot of her friends over to the house and having BBQs together. So when her friends come to the house, they see me. They're like, they look at me like this. They scan me. Now I'm doing Zoom, so I'm wearing pretty clothes on top. But you saw my pajamas on the right. Usually during the day, I'm wearing pajamas on the top and the bottom whole day. So they come, look at me, and like, wow. They whisper, but I can hear them. And then say, wow, what a parasite. Living off from the mother. Oh my God, 28 years old. And what a 백수. 백수 is like jobless in Korean. It's a very negative word in Korean. They think of me like 백수 and thinking me like a parasite and start whispering behind my mother's back. And then in about 5 minutes after they sit down for a cup of coffee, and they become more like, they're like, they see my mother's income, they see my income, and they're like, they suddenly change their attitude like, wow, can I introduce my daughter to you? So, do you want to live a life like my mother and me? Do you want to become successful, not only yourself, but become successful in your family together? Then never give up in Atomy. And the stars can shine without the darkness. So go through this dark tunnel that you're going through right now to achieve success in Atomy. Okay? Then Atomy is a super big business, and your whole family members will become successful in Atomy together. My mother is a Star Master. My auntie is a Sharon Nose Master. I'm a Sharon Nose Master. My cousins are Sales Masters. This is a family business, and my mother is not paying anything to my family. Everybody is having a separate income from Atomy. This is the business you're dealing with, so don't look at in front of you now, but look far ahead. Where will I be in the future? Challenge. Move forward. Never give up. Trust the team. Trust your sponsors. Trust your partners. Hold hand in hand, never let go. And I hope that you can all go through this dark tunnel and shine brightly in the future together. See you at the top together. Thank you very much.